Okay, hey YouTube. So it is a week after my 33rd birthday, which means I'm a year older, kind of see it in the eyes. A year fatter, can definitely see it in the belly, and a year wiser, which you would never know from listening to these YouTube videos. Um, but it also means that I'm a little bit more than 3 years post-op, about 4.5 years into this whole YouTube shtick, so you would think I would know how to make compelling content by now, but I don't. And it means that I'm about 5 years full-time, about 6 years on hormones. And so those mile markers really start to mean a whole lot less the longer you've been sort of post-transition, because to be honest, this past year hasn't been much different than the year before it was. And that is why I think a lot of trans YouTubers tend to disappear, because we run out of things to talk about that are trans specific, which is not a train pun, but probably a good thing, because one of the comments that I've seen sort of as a recurring theme over those 4.5 years has been basically, why do you only talk about being trans? Why can't you talk about other stuff? Like, maybe this is why people, look at you and see trans, because you can't drop it or move on or just be a regular woman now that you're post-transition. And that's kind of a weird way, I think, to look at the YouTube channel that is primarily about trans issues. But it's because I don't talk about being trans that often. It's not the defining thing about my day-to-day life, and it does help that I blend. It is just part of my history, and sure, it means that I'm gonna have to dilate here as soon as I'm done, but other than that, it's not an important part of my day-to-day life. It is something that I care about from a politics and kind of issues advocacy space, because I understand that gender dysphoria can be a pain in the ass. I understand that people can be pretty big dicks to trans people, and so I'm not gonna just kind of disappear and do nothing about that. But it's outside of kind of that advocacy work, this channel, it's I do the same things everyone else does. I go travel, I go to the movies, I go to the bar, get hit on, hook up with people. It is, kind of boring, kind of normal, and what I think you sort of expect out of it. And that's that. So if you have questions or things you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comments, because I am struggling to come up with some ideas here, and are happy to take some questions.